Alright, welcome back everybody to another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. We are on the map Twilight City, spawning down in the bottom left hand corner as the green Traveler 59. We have Green 0. And his opponent in the upper right hand corner as the red Traveler 59. We have State of the Union. So State of the Union versus Green 0 here on Twilight City. Traveler 59 mirror matchup. Another mirror matchup. I know that's what you're all saying, but I love them. I'll tell you that much, and the replay system's been pretty dead lately, so I'm certainly looking forward to seeing some more mirror matchups if they do occur, but we'll have to take a look. And let's see what we have coming out from these guys. It looks like it's going to be fast legs out for State of the Union, going to be going 3 engineers as well as disintegrators, and let's take a look and see what we have out from Green 0. It is going to be fast legs for Green 0 as well, and it looks like actually he's going for the same thing. He does have that triple engineer out, so going to be practically mirror builds for these guys here. We'll have to see the disintegrator count, but I would imagine it will be pretty close to the same. It's going to be 5 disintegrators out for Green 0. Going to be selling off that tech structure right there. And as we can see, State of the Union going to be grabbing, it looks like, probably 4 or 5 disintegrator squads of his own. So going to be pretty much identical builds from these guys. And as we can see, State of the Union just going to be moving around with that engineer, or rather a simulator. They do need to be careful. They do not want to lose those to a single buzzer being out of position here. So both Green 0 and State of the Union moving around very carefully, making sure that they get the right angles of engagement. And State of the Union actually passing over that Tiberium spike, so kind of giving away the fact that he is going fast legs, but likely Green 0 was already aware of this. And let's take a look. Green 0 moving into the main base of State of the Union. It looks like he is going to be hitting first. And let's see if he can get in here and do any damage. But we do have a nice buzzer hive drop out from State of the Union. Can he manage to get any of these squads? No, the control from Green 0 is just too good. He is going to be losing one squad right there, but that's going to be enough to pull Green 0 over to the other side of the map there to get a kill on that power plant. But it looks like actually Green 0 losing a power plant or something here. Maybe it was a buzzer hive, but oh, State of the Union losing all of those disintegrators to that single buzzer hive, but managing to pick up a harvester kill there. That's going to be quite good, but oh, he's going to be paying for it with his warp sphere, and that could be game over right there. Not quite sure how State of the Union's going to respond to this. He's going to continue to have to drop buzzer hives as he has no other means of defense. Maybe going to be seeing a portal here. It looks like he is queuing another buzzer hive. But man, Green 0 just being very effective with these disintegrators. No, he has not managed to kill any harvesters, which is what he was looking to do, but he has crippled State of the Union by destroying his warp sphere. That is quite a heavy investment and is going to be just eliminating any additional build from State of the Union. Going to be dropping another buzzer hive here to defend his drone platform, and that's exactly what Green 0 wants to do. He wants to keep those buzzer hives away from these harvesters so that way he can move in and eventually do some damage. It is going to be a portal drop out from State of the Union. It looks like there's going to be additional disintegrators out, as likely if he just simply spammed out buzzers, they would be cleaned up pretty quickly by these disintegrators. And man, look at the micro control out of Green 0. He's just going to be cleaning up all of these squads the second they come out. Going to be cleaning up all of these buzzers the second they become available, and he's just milking these squads the second they come out of that portal. So doing a great job of killing off the remainder of these units. And let's take a look and see what Green 0's been doing in the meantime. He does have another portal down, so perhaps going to be looking to grab that Tiberium spike back. In fact, he already has. So Green 0 on a very, very high economic footing here in terms of his economy versus his opponent. I mean, State of the Union does have 2 and 1, and he is mining away happily. He's not really spending any money, so he's banking it up pretty heavily. I mean, he does have that production coming out from that portal. And actually, we do have another portal out from State of the Union, but man, that buzzer could have been lights out for that portal. Luckily, State of the Union paying attention. He does manage to clean that up. He does pump out another assimilator, so perhaps going to be looking to grab that Tiberium spike back from Green 0. And actually, we do have another assimilator out for State as well. So going to be looking to grab those Tiberium spikes back, and that's going to be a good idea as Green 0 definitely has the advantage in terms of economy here. He is up to 5 and 2. He does have his tier 2 down, and he has not moved his drone platform, so I can only presume that he's going for tier 3, and that's going to be devastating for State of the Union. I mean, he's just so far behind, and if it's Mechapeds out for Green 0, they're just going to do so much damage against these disintegrator squads, but the disintegrators getting milked by these gunwalkers as they get into range, and it looks like he is going to be paying for that with another disintegrator squad there. Nice engagement from Green 0, does not lose any of these gunwalkers. In fact, only makes one go down to about half health. But it looks like State of the Union is going to mass up in the north. Going to be looking to take out this lone gunwalker out to perhaps just stave off the engineer cap on that Tiberium spike, but unfortunately it's just too little. to actually make a difference, and that engineer is going to be moving in just now. He was hiding in the trees previously, but we do have tier 3 down for Green Zero at the moment, so it looks like it is likely going to be Mechapedes. I cannot imagine that he would go for anything else at this point, but we do have Disintegrators coming in once again. Force State of the Union going to be looking to do some damage, but the Buzzer Hive as well as Gunwalker and Mechapede going to be enough to force State of the Union to fall back here. And whoa, what do we have here? We have an engineer coming out from State of the Union. Could this potentially get a cap on this tech assembler? He does. He gets the tech assembler, but not before Green Zero is able to get out a second Mechapede. But man, that is going to be huge for State of the Union. That is exactly what he needed. Very risky maneuver, but definitely going to be doing some nice damage there to Green Zero. I mean, that is such a huge investment for Green Zero to go for that tech assembler. I don't know the exact dollar value, but I believe it's up in the 3,000 mark. And we're going to be seeing Green Zero looking to put on the pressure with these Mechapedes, which is exactly what he needs to do at this point, or perhaps even just kite around these Disintegrator squads and clean them up as much as he can. That's honestly what would be best at this point, but we do have Gunwalkers out here from Green Zero as well. Going to be milking the rest of these units. And let's take a look and see what we have going around the map here. And we do have Green Zero plopping down his drone platform. He has dropped a Buzzer Hive right next to his drone platform. A wise decision, and actually dropping a second one. Another wise decision, as he does go straight back up to tier 3, realizing that that's exactly what he wanted to do for his build. He doesn't want that to be canceled by a single engineer capture out of State of the Union. But let's take a look and see what else we have going on. Green Zero still mining away happily here, going back for some more Mechapedes, but it doesn't look like he's really rocking too heavy on the economy. It looks like he's maybe going for some additional refineries. And we are going to be seeing, actually, cultists, it looks like, out from State of the Union. Let's see where they are. And yes, we do have cultists out from State. So great choice from State of the Union. Realizing that he's up against Mechapedes, Traveler 59, they have the perfect option to counter this, as they do have the ability to go with those fast-leg cultists. And if you can get in there and grab those Mechapedes away, that's a huge investment that Green Zero is just throwing down the drain and essentially allowing his opponent to do the damage back to him. And now these Mechapedes that were hopefully looking to do some damage to the economy of State of the Union are actually going to be doing the exact opposite and hurting the economy of Green Zero in response. And we do actually have a temporal wormhole coming down from Green Zero, likely trying to lock down some of those cultists, but I'm honestly not sure. We have too much going on at the moment, and we do see a couple of Disintegrators just cleaning up that Tiberium spike from Green Zero. So I believe at the moment, let's take a look and see what we have. State of the Union does still have 3 Tiberium spikes at this point. He is further behind on economy than Green Zero. He only has that single harvester, single refinery, but he is up to 3 and 2 on this field here. So State of the Union really needs to take this time and get back into the game in terms of economy, as Green Zero is just going to simply win through attrition here if he keeps it up too much longer. Disintegrator squads being caught out of position by these Mechapedes, and Green Zero's back out on the offensive. Surprisingly enough, going for more Mechapedes, realizing that he's up against fast-leg cultists, that it could be a very bad situation. But it looks like actually State of the Union is up to tier 3. Completely missed this. I don't even know when he dropped it. There it is. And he does have a Prodigy out on the field, so we do have just this fast-leg infantry force running around from State of the Union, just trying to figure out where these Mechapedes are going to be. As we can see, the cultists would be able to snag them away, as well as the Prodigy. They'd be able to do just so much damage to that force, and Green Zero just trying to find the right angle for engagement here. But it looks like actually Green Zero going to be losing a Buzzer squad there. And actually the Prodigy teleporting forward does not get the area mind control off, misses the heads, and is going to be paying for that with his Prodigy, and perhaps even his tech assembler here. That would be devastating. That's going to set him back quite a bit, and exactly what Green Zero wants to see at this point. But, ooh, the cultists are going to be coming in and snagging those Mechapedes away from Green Zero, and the tech assembler is saved. Great control from State of the Union to come back from that horrible-looking defeat there, where he lost that Prodigy for literally no gain. But, man, look at the Buzzer Hive drops out of Green Zero. But Green Zero realizing that he has the economic advantage, and just saying, you think you're going to go ahead and engineer cap me? I don't think so, son. Look at this wall of defense. That's just insanity. But realizing that State of the Union really hasn't produced any vehicles whatsoever, air or ground, that the infantry base defenses are going to be quite good. But let's take a look and see what we have. It looks like the Mechapedes that are mind-controlled from State of the Union are going to be coming in and looking to do some damage, but it looks like actually they are going to be drawing fire from these Mechapedes, so actually very good choice to go with these Buzzer Hive drops. And actually, we do have a storm column as well. So unfortunately, Green Zero being forced to destroy his own Mechapedes. Not what he wants to be doing, but all the same, going to be cleaning up the remainder of these forces here. And it looks like he is going to be able to clean up the remainder of those Mechapedes. Yes, we can see he is cleaning up the rest of those. But, ooh, a couple of cultist squads out of State of the Union, missing an opportunity to grab those two Mechapedes. Complete brain fart there. But, ooh, could be losing that Prodigy. No, the Lightning Spike does get that final shot off and the teleport away, as well as the Prodigy getting repairs from that Warp Sphere. Good control from State of the Union, almost losing his Prodigy again. That would be pretty devastating, as they are quite costly. But we are going to be seeing a Hexapod coming out from Green Zero momentarily. And in the middle of the map, we can see Gunwalkers coming out from Green Zero. Going to be a nice way to deal with those cultists. Those cultists do not want to mind control those Gunwalkers, as they are definitely not the units that you want to be going for, especially when your opponent is producing mainly vehicles. And we can see it is going to be Annihilator Tripods coming out from State of the Union, going to be looking to deal with the remainder of this vehicle production out of Green Zero, and that's going to be exactly what he needs here. We do have the Hexapod out on the field for Green Zero, and we'll have to see if he can get in there and do any damage. And actually, it doesn't look like we have any garrisons for that Hexapod at the moment. Perhaps Green Zero struggling in terms of economy here. Not quite sure, but it looks like he's just going still heavy into that Mechapede production. And we can see he's just coming back from another attack up in the north. Not quite sure what happened, but we do have a Warp Sphere down, or rather a Warp Chasm down from State of the Union. So going to be looking to go for a Hexapod of his own, calling in that Seed Tiberium power right there, or Ichor Seed rather. I get those mixed up for some reason. They do the same thing. But we're going to be seeing actually the Gunwalker managing to get claimed by this cultist squad. But again, definitely not what State of the Union wants to be grabbing. Ooh, actually, State of the Union not paying attention, going to be losing some cultist squads to that lone Gunwalker out of Green Zero. And that's exactly what Green Zero wants to see. Just clean up units, be cost effective, and just bide your time. And I'm not quite sure what Green Zero's up to, calling in that Ichor Seed of his own. And let's take a look up in the north, but we can see the Hexapod moving in for Green Zero, and it does not look like it has any garrisons at the moment, but it is going to be forced to fall back here by the Hexapod, as well as the tripods out of State of the Union. And if State of the Union moves in fast enough, he has an opportunity to lock down this Hexapod, but it looks like he is going to be forced to fall back here, and a wise decision, as those tripods were taking a decent bit of damage. He doesn't want to lose too many of those units. But we are going to be seeing the Mechapedes once again out of Green Zero, going to be looking to come in here and just harass the economy of State of the Union. So Green Zero being extremely effective with these Mechapedes, and we'll have to see what else he can do with them. It looks like he has cleaned up all of the harvesting on this field. Not that it's a huge deal for State of the Union, but he is going to have to send some harvesters back here. Ooh, actually bad timing for that harvester to come back, as it looks like it will be going down to this Mechapede army. But we do have this cultist squad here, perhaps just waiting for an opportunity to get in and do some capturing. But I don't know for certain. And, ooh, what happened here? Did we lose a drone platform? We must have. So I think State of the Union did manage to capture that drone platform away from Green Zero. So that would be pretty epic. If he did, I will certainly edit it back in. If it was just a sell-off from Green Zero, I won't worry about it too much, as Green Zero can make his own decisions, but I can't imagine that he would. I mean, he still has an opportunity to expand here, so I have to imagine that that was a Prodigy cap. But at any rate, we'll be focusing on the action currently, and we do have a Storm Column drop out from State of the Union. So Green Zero, once again, just being very pesky with these Mechapedes. But that Storm Column going down without actually claiming a single Mechapede, I don't believe. It did get a decent number of those segments killed, but it did not actually claim a single Mechapede. So Green Zero is going to be liking that quite a bit. He's cleaning up the remainder of the space, going to be forced to pull back because the cultists are getting into range there. They do have to mind control the head, so if you can position them backwards, they do have an opportunity to get away. But it looks like it is going to be a double vet disintegrator squad out from State of the Union. Not quite sure what he killed. He's been doing some work, certainly earning his money today. Let's take a look and see what we have going on. We do have the Eradicator Hexapod moving in from State of the Union. Does have double Corruptor support here, so going to be looking to get some repairs on the front line. But it looks like Green Zero is going to be poised to lose his Technology Assembler, and that's going to be pretty major. And Green Zero going to be forced to respond to this with his Mechapedes, and just trying to find the right opportunity to engage here. Good choice to actually focus down these Corruptors first, as they will be eliminating any additional support that this Hexapod has, but a phase field coming off on that Hexapod. State of the Union realizing that he does not want to lose that, at least not straight away. And the Hexapod out from Green Zero, garrisoned up with 3 disintegrator squads, going to be forcing the fallback of State of the Union there. But State getting in here, doing some damage, destroying that technology assembler, and Green Zero does not have any way to rebuild that. He does not have a drone platform and no gravity stabilizer, so you will not be seeing another one. So unfortunately, Green Zero is kind of locked in here. He does have this huge Mechapede army, but it is crucial that he keeps these guys alive because he cannot rebuild them. I mean, he has a massive number. It has to be at least 6, 7, 8. He looks like he's got about 10 of these Mechapedes, and some of them are ranked up. And look at that. They're just tearing up that Eradicator Hexapod, doing some serious damage. They do take quite a bit of damage from that grenade-type damage that the Hexapods do, but we are going to be seeing Green Zero falling back here. He did have an opportunity there to do some serious damage to that Hexapod, but I don't know that it would have been cost-effective for him. But actually, we do have I'm sorry, I almost said disintegrators, but we have Annihilator tripods moving in here for State of the Union, just looking to steamroll this base. And look at the DPS out of these units, just absolutely massacring these buildings as they're passing through, and just not even stopping while they're walking through. They're going to be falling back to the main base here, or rather actually looking to put some pressure on the main base. We do have an area mind control coming off, managing to actually snag one of the Mechapedes here of Green Zero, but ooh, nice temporal wormhole coming down from State of the Union, going to be locking down a lot of these Mechapedes, and we'll have to see if State of the Union can actually do the damage that he needs. And down in the south, we can see that the Hexapod as well as disintegrators are going to be enough to force away these tripods, and we'll see if State of the Union can manage to get away without actually losing any of those tripods. But State of the Union back out on the offensive with this Hexapod, does still only have that single shock trooper garrison at this point, so no real opportunity to do too much damage. I mean, the Hexapods do quite a bit of damage with just their main cannon, but with the garrisons, they just do an incredible amount. And man, look at Green Zero. He just has so many of these Mechapedes. They're just able to level these structures so fast. And look at this. He's going to be moving into this expansion base of State of the Union, and he's going to be cleaning up all the power structures. That's probably a good decision here. He has an opportunity, but the Prodigy teleports in the Hexapod here, and that's going to be enough to force Green Zero to fall back. But Green Zero is doing exactly what he needs to do in this situation. Just get in there, choose the angles of engagement, and just determine exactly how this game's going to go. Just force your opponent to move around and keep their units out of position where they want to be on the offensive, and he's going to be doing quite a bit of damage. And we can see it is going to be the Mechapedes facing off against these tripods. Definitely not a favorable engagement for Green Zero in this situation. Those Mechapedes just not able to stand up to the sheer DPS of those Annihilator tripods, and they do have quite a bit of tankability as well, so we're going to be seeing them getting away pretty much unscathed. But State of the Union going to be moving in once again with his Hexapod, just a single Corruptor as support, perhaps just looking to milk the units of Green Zero, making sure that he does not get up. But look at that, teleports it straight away back to his main base, and man, Green Zero just doing so much damage with these Mechapedes. Does manage to clean up an additional Harvester coming to the blue field, but actually we have an assimilator out on the field for State of the Union. Interesting. Oh, we can see actually Green Zero has managed to grab, I think, the 2 remaining Tiberium Spikes at this point. Let's take a look. Actually, State of the Union does still have this Tiberium Spike back near his original expansion, but he has not had an opportunity to actually get in there and do any more damage. We're actually going to be seeing State of the Union losing a assimilator there to the forces of Green Zero. Those Mechapedes definitely doing the damage that they need to be doing, and it looks like State of the Union was maybe looking to grab that Tiberium Spike away from Green Zero, as I mean, Green Zero, he's pretty strapped for eco at this point. I mean, he's being forced to build disintegrator squads because he just simply can't afford to build anything else, and really at tier 1, he's not going to be able to build a whole lot that's going to be effective in these types of fights. Aside from disintegrators, he really needs to keep his tier 3 units that are already out on the field alive, and that's exactly what he's doing. But unfortunately, it's giving an opportunity to State of the Union to build up his forces and do some serious damage. But State of the Union has not had an opportunity to expand to his next green field, and I think if he was able to do that, that's going to be lights out for Green Zero. And actually, Green Zero doing a great job of eliminating the economy on that field as well. So State of the Union, I mean, he does still have that drone platform, and he has an opportunity to expand. He's just not taking it, as Green Zero is just being such a pain with those Mechapedes. He's just being forced to react to them instead of being a force of aggression here. And it looks like Green Zero is actually going to be sending out an additional assimilator out to grab that Tiberium Spike, realizing how important it is to keep those Tiberium Spikes in his possession, especially in this type of a situation. This is why he's able to stay on the offensive here, just doing such a nice job of managing his economy despite being down so significantly here in this late game. We're going to be seeing an additional assimilator out from State of the Union State saying, you can cap it back, but I'm going to take it straight back away from you. And man, I don't know who's doing better here, and it looks like actually the Prodigy did try to teleport something in. I'm not quite sure what it was, perhaps the Hexapod, but it is not going to be able to get into position here. And let's take a look and see where that Hexapod is at. That Hexapod is out on the field. It is up to that veteran status, so it has an opportunity to do some serious damage, but State of the Union going to be losing his Warp Chasm here and could potentially be losing his Technology Assembler, but the Annihilator Tripods are going to be responding to this. They do claim a single Mechapede there of Green Zero, and that's going to be quite good. He does want to clean these up as quickly as he can, but unfortunately, State of the Union, he is just being herded into his base so well. And let's take a look and see what we have out from Green Zero. Green Zero has a massive force here, but unfortunately he does not have a huge amount of tankability. That Eradicator Hexapod can take quite a bit of shots, but without any support aside from just disintegrators, he's not going to be able to stay on the front lines for too long, especially against Annihilator Tripods. But we are going to be seeing the Prodigy moving out for State of the Union by itself here. Perhaps not a good idea against just disintegrators, and yes, he is going to be forced to fall back there. Wise decision. On the right-hand side, we can see Green Zero just continuing to move around with these Mechapedes. So both of these guys in kind of a stalemate. Ooh, that Prodigy almost getting sniped by those disintegrators, but is going to teleport away, and he will manage to get back to base. He's not going to be getting any repairs because there is no Warp Chasm out or State of the Union, so interesting choice here. Going for another power plant, not quite sure what that was for. Maybe just trying to draw fire from the forces of Green Zero. But State of the Union does have his Hexapod out here on the move, perhaps trying to catch these Mechapedes out of position, but it looks like he is going to be looking to engage this major force of Green Zero, and that's definitely not going to be a favorable engagement. But Green Zero choosing to fall back here, probably a wise decision, as he does not want to allow that Hexapod to rank up too much off of these forces, and honestly, he doesn't want to just be losing these forces because State of the Union can simply teleport that back and heal it back up straight away. And Green Zero actually going to have an opportunity to snipe this engineer from State of the Union State, doing such a nice job of stealthing that. But no, Green Zero was paying attention. He does manage to get that snipe there, and that's going to be lights out for that engineer. But State of the Union actually does teleport that Hexapod back, and it's going to be pulling all of these forces of Green Zero out of position. And as we can see, the Hexapod is going to be moving in, but unfortunately not without losing some of those disintegrators in the process. Disintegrators is going to be quite good against those cultists. Not going to be able to clean them up too quickly, but we are going to be seeing Buzzer Hides drops out of State of the Union, pretty much to be expected. But we are going to be seeing the Eradicator Hexapod out of Green Zero, going to be facing off against the Eradicator Hexapod of State of the Union, but State does have repairs as well as that veteran status. Green Zero could have done some serious damage if he moved in very closely, but realizing that that Prodigy is still out on the field, that can be a serious issue. But actually, we do have the Mechapedes out on the field, and actually we do have a veteran, or rather, elite Mechapede. I'm totally tripping over words right now, but all the same, the cultist captures out of State of the Union, those are major. Going to be cleaning up the remainder of these Mechapedes and going to be using Green Zero's own Mechapedes to chase down the remainder of his Mechapede army here. But he does still have that seriously elite Mechapede, and that could be doing some serious damage. But Green Zero going to be using this opportunity to get in here and do some serious damage, and is going to be cleaning up the remainder of his Mechapedes. Unfortunately, not what he really wants to be doing here. But we are going to be seeing Green Zero moving in on the left-hand side as well, but unfortunately getting cleaned up by the majority of those units there. And his Hexapod has not gotten any repairs at this point. Down in the south, we do see just a single buzzer getting cleaned up there by the forces of Green Zero, likely just State of the Union trying to get eyes on what is going on here. And ooh, State of the Union has an opportunity here to lose his drone platform, and that would be crippling because he has... No, he does have production here. I apologize. He does lose that drone platform. Man, that is going to be huge. So Green Zero kind of evening the playing field here. He desperately needs to take out that technology assembler, because that is the major difference between these two forces here, is that Green Zero does not have the opportunity to build those tech units. But man, Green Zero doing a nice job despite being down so heavily in this late game, and just still continuing to be the aggressor here. Very, very interesting choice. And, ooh, unfortunately going to be losing that additional Mechapede there to the Annihilator tripods of State of the Union, but does still have a veteran Mechapede out on the field and is going to be just moving around with this Hexapod. Should probably pull that Hexapod back and just get some repairs. Honestly, would probably be the best choice at this point, but he does want to keep the forces of State of the Union at bay. And actually, we are going to be seeing, interestingly enough, a Toxin segment Mechapede out to heal this Eradicator Hexapod. Interesting choice from State of the Union. You do not see that very often, but as you can see, it is being used with pretty good effect on that Hexapod. Very expensive choice, and obviously quite a fragile unit. But we are going to be seeing the Prodigy moving out for, I believe, State of the Union. Yes, it is going to be State moving out there, and maybe just coming back from a raid on Green Zero's base, but a Gunwalker coming out, maybe trying to catch any additional assimilators out from State of the Union. But it looks like State is going to be looking to put the pressure on with that Hexapod, but no, teleports it back, and ooh, gets an opportunity, gets the crush on 2 of those Gunwalkers, and unfortunately Green Zero not able. He does manage to clean up 1 Cultist squad, which is going to be quite good because those cannot be rebuilt, but there is still 1 out on the field, actually 2 out on the field with only a tiny bit of health left, but that Prodigy is out on the field as well, and bringing that Eradicator Hexapod up to that elite status. I keep forgetting the name of that word, but ooh, the Prodigy almost getting killed by that Mechapede, but managing to get captured instead, and that's exactly what State wanted to do in this situation. He's going to be able to clean up all of the Tier 1 units out of Green Zero quite readily with that single Mechapede. And let's take a look and see what we have coming out from Green Zero. Green Zero is pretty strapped for cash at this point, as we can see. He does still have those 2 refineries and 2 harvesters, but honestly, the field is still here, but he cannot build units that are going to be really cost-effective. As you can see, these Mechapedes can just get in here and do some serious damage. Going up to an elite status with that Mechapede, so very, very high-ranked units in this game. Unfortunately, Green Zero's Hexapod not getting too much rank on it by itself, but an elite Hexapod out from State of the Union, going to be looking to put the pressure on the main base of Green Zero, and it looks like he's going to be coming in now looking to do some serious damage. And where is the Hexapod of Green Zero? Unfortunately, the Hexapod from Green Zero is across the map here, so going to be trying to go for a base trade situation. But State of the Union has an opportunity here to really put the pressure on, and Green Zero just does not have the opportunity to defend his base. Any units that are produced out of this Warp Chasm are just simply not going to be able to be a match for this Hexapod, and that Hexapod is poised to go heroic at this point. Not quite sure, but we do still have Mechapedes being produced by State of the Union, and we do have a Prodigy out on the field still. So State is looking really good. This is honestly a very desperate move out of Green Zero to move in with this Hexapod, especially against Annihilator tripods. We can see he is just completely abandoning this base, just trying to stay alive for as long as he can, and desperately trying to kill off any additional economy out of State of the Union. But these tripods are going to move in. They do get the EMP off, and that is likely going to be GG for Green Zero. Not quite sure what he can do at this point, and Green Zero throws in the towel. State of the Union coming through with a victory there in that very messy but very interesting mirror matchup here on Twilight City. 27.5 minutes, definitely an interesting game for being that long. Certainly not what you would expect to see. You would expect to see a much higher eco game at that point, but just showing how effective those Traveler 59 units can be. And both of these players demonstrating exactly how to do what they do with those low resource counts. But let's take a look quickly. Green Zero, look at that. Despite being down the entire game from what it looked like in terms of economy, Green Zero managed to stay on par with State of the Union in that late game, despite being able to move off to that expansion. And State of the Union, I think he missed an opportunity there to actually move his drone platform out and get some additional economy set up. But the Mechapede army of Green Zero just doing such a nice job of keeping him herded in, and that is likely why State of the Union did not actually move out, just trying to find an opportunity to engage those Mechapedes, eliminate them as a threat, and then have an opportunity to expand, and that would have been lights out for Green Zero. But Green Zero played that perfectly. Unfortunately lost through attrition there, just simply was not able to get all the engagement that he was looking for, and in the end, honestly, the Cultists as well as the Prodigy really won that game for State of the Union, as well as some brilliant micro and some choices in the early game when he was really down for the count. I mean, Green Zero did some crippling damage with those disintegrators, as well as getting up to that tier 3 straight away, but State of the Union doing a nice job of capturing that technology assembler away from Green Zero, as well as taking out his drone platform, likely with a Prodigy cap. But man, what a nice job from State of the Union and Green Zero. Well played to both players. Certainly an interesting and enjoyable match to watch. I hope you guys all enjoyed it too. I'll catch you all next time.